It can be hard to know when you need a new job. As a rule, if you hate going to work every day, it may be time. If you hate going to work and your coworkers don't respect you,
hey, dummy,
it may be time. If you hate going to work, your coworkers don't respect you,
dummy,
and you always wish you were somewhere else, it may be time. If you hate going to work, your coworkers don't respect you,
dummy,
you wish you were somewhere else, and you cry constantly, it may be time. If you hate going to work, no one respects you, you wish you were somewhere else, you cry constantly, and you daydream of punching small animals.
Oh dear.
It may be time. If you hate going to work, no one respects you, you wish you were somewhere else, you cry constantly, you daydream of punching small animals, and you sit next to this guy, it may be time. If you make loads of money, it may not be time. But if you make loads of money, you hate going to work, no one respects you, you wish you were somewhere else, you cry constantly, you daydream of punching small animals, and you sit next to this guy, it's probably time, as a rule.
Okay, so that was a commercial from Career Builder. And I do not want this video to go forever and ever and ever and ever and ever because I don't want to talk too long. And then there's the next part that you're going to watch. So, you know, if this video ends up being like 2 hours long, that's just insane. So let me give you personal advice and let me tell you how this breaks down. A job versus a career is your mentality. That's it. Now, some people will say, oh, you know, if you're working at Walmart, that's a job. Or you know, you would think that a job would be like any low-level job, right? And that's the wordage, job, right? Go get a job, Walmart, you know, $8 an hour minimum wage, right? McDonald's, etc. I mean, take your pick. But that's not true, and that's not fair. that, because I know people who can start at the low level. So you can be flipping burgers at McDonald's, flipping burgers at Burger King, or, you know, working the register at Walmart, whatever. And if you have strong work ethic, you will one day make that your career, and you could be the manager of that place. You could be a regional manager, and you can go work for the corporate office. Okay? Anything that you want to do is available to you. The key is your mentality. The key is your work ethic. Honestly, the key is figuring out what you want to do for 8 hours a day minimum. Because I actually work 12 hours a day, right? So like I got here at 7:30, and you know, I may not get, like, well, not today. Today's a bad example. But like if I'm doing Minecraft Club, if I'm doing the robotics competitions and all that, there are days when I don't come home until 7:30 at night. So that's a 12-hour day. But like at minimum, I could say I work 10 hours a day. And that doesn't even include the time I put in on the weekends, the time I'm, like right now, making this lesson. I mean, I'm at work right now, but like I've made the last set of lessons you watched, I was at my house working on the weekend, all weekend, okay, for hours and hours. And I was, you know, I am getting paid for it, so I won't say I wasn't getting paid, but I'm definitely not in the building, you know, from 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock for the school day. So this is my career. I enjoy doing this. And that's what you want. You want to find what you enjoy doing, whatever that is. I mean, it's different for every person, okay? So, like, I'll give you a perfect example. I once was a baker for Panera Bread, and I hated that job. I was a baker for Panera Bread, and I hated that job. Hated it. Okay? Funny story, I'll tell that real quick. I literally worked that job for 1 week, and I hated it so much that when I left, I was willing to take my mother's advice on seeing about this teaching thing, and here I am as a teacher. Okay? But like I said, I don't want this video to go on forever and ever and ever. What I want to impart upon you, the most important thing when you start talking about a job versus a career, is you have to remove the mentality that this is something you're going to do when you grow up. Because that's making it a future distant event. That's going to happen later. No, it's happening right now. Right now. Okay? When I was your age, I wanted to make video games. I wanted to be a computer programmer. I learned computer programming. I learned game programming. In high school, I made my first tic-tac-toe game. In college, I programmed, you know, like a mini Zelda, I guess like 2 levels, whatever. Okay, it wasn't exactly Zelda, but it was like a rendition of it. But that, whatever, I don't want to go off on a tangent. The point is, I learned how to do it. And then I learned that's not really what I want to do. I really want to get into the graphic side. And I can go into a whole backstory of mine, but I'm not going to make this video forever. My point is, I experimented. I tried things. I figured out what I liked and what I didn't like. That's what you need to do, and you need to do it now. Okay? Now. Because I didn't figure out, hey, I found my career in teaching, and now I teach you how to make video games. I teach you how to do all the things that I've learned along the way. I did those things, and now I'm teaching you how to do those things. The faster you figure it out, the better. Because if you wait, then you run the risk of being like that lady sitting in her car going, I hate my job. Okay, you hate your job because you don't have a plan. You have to figure out what you want. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? I say that a million times. What do you want? So probably a better question than what do you want to be when you grow up is what do you want right now? What do you want? Okay. Now, as a kid, the answer may be to play and talk on your phone and hang out with your friends. That's not going to get you what you really, really want. Okay. Think about what you want later in life. Think about what you want later in life. You want kids? You want to be rich? You want a nice car? You want a nice house? You want to have family? It's not as important that you're rich, but that you're happy. What do you want? And when you figure that part out, then you'll start realizing what you want to do. And that could be anything. You could be a mechanic. You could be a YouTube maker. You can make video games. You can make video games. You could be a doctor or a lawyer. It's all open to you. The question is, do you have the work ethic that's necessary to do that thing? The guy who started flipping burgers at McDonald's and then went on to own the McDonald's, he was coming in every day and doing the work and saying to the manager, hey man, can I come in early tomorrow? These things need to get done. Can I come in and do those things? Maybe doing them off the clock. Oh, I don't need you to pay me for it. It needs to get done. Okay, one of my friends just told me, she got promoted. She works at a dentist's office, and she's the girl that comes in and cleans your teeth and does all that stuff. Okay, and she just got a raise at her job. Okay, because when she's working, she's always doing the things. She'll take the garbage out. It's not her job to take the garbage out. It's not her job. There's actually somebody else who comes in to clean the whole office and they take the garbage out. But she notices the garbage is full and she takes it out because it needs to be taken out. And her boss, the dentist, notices that and says, oh, this girl really cares about my practice, about this building and what because it's his name on the door. People are not coming to see her. They're coming to see him. Okay. When I book a dentist, I don't book the girl who's cleaning my teeth. I book the dentist, the name of the guy. So I go, oh yeah, Dr. My doctor's Chin, right? So Dr. Chin. Dr. Chin, oh, he's good. And I talk to people, oh yeah, Dr. Chin's great. Nobody talks about the girl who cleans your mouth. They talk about Dr. Chin. But when Dr. Chin's working and he notices this girl cleaning up and doing these things, he goes, oh wow, this girl, she cares about Dr. Chin's dentistry or whatever you name of it is. It doesn't matter. Okay. And he goes, I want to keep her around. I want to make her happy. Let me give her a raise. Okay. And the next thing you know, he'll say, hey, why don't you go to school, get promoted or whatever. And then maybe you can, I'm overbooked. And if you became a dentist too, then I could give you half these clients and now you're moving into partnership. That's what happens with lawyers and architects and things like that you're working so hard and you're really putting the effort in that the people who run the place say, hey, we're willing to cut this with you. My wife does that. She's a real estate agent and she's worked her way up to the point where now she's talking about, it's possible that she can be starting her own brokerage and becoming her own. Like her and her partners, other real estate agents have worked together for so long that they're building a team and they might just start their own company. This is how things happen. But they don't happen because of some future event that occurs and it's like, oh, I grew up and here I am. No, they were thinking about it all along. Okay? And it starts in middle school. It starts with your work ethic. So, I'm at 10 minutes now, so I'm just going to wrap this up. I don't want to talk for too long. You can't be lazy. You're going to have to put the work in. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you are lazy, you are still going to work. You're just not going to enjoy it all along the way. Okay? You're going to hate it every second of it. That's the bottom line. So I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and I do my job and I enjoy doing my job. It's this is the things I have to do. I have to come to school. I have to make the video. I have to do this. I have a Zoom session, all the stuff I got to do. Right? Because I know what I got to do and it's what I want to do and I'm ready. Go. Let's go. I'm doing it. But if I hated my job, it's like, coming to work. Okay, go do this. Oh my God, I got to do this, right? And now it's a drudgery. But guess what? You're still working. You're still doing the stuff. The difference is now somebody else is going to tell you what to do. You're going to get paid less and you're going to hate your life more. versus you taking the personal responsibility, putting in the work ethic, making it happen, and turning a job into a career. Careers you enjoy, jobs you hate. That's why people say working at McDonald's is a job, because there's not too many people who have worked at McDonald's and say, yay, McDonald's. But that there are people who have done it. Like, if 1 in a million person has done it, then that one person really liked McDonald's. Okay, so I don't want to hold you back or discourage you from anything. Do it. Do it. You want to be a ball player? Do it. You want to make YouTube videos? Do it. You want to whatever. You want to play video games for your life? Do it. Start now, today. Get to it. What are you doing? What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Oh, I don't know how to do it. Learn. You got the internet before you. Go. Don't be lazy. The lazy person says, I don't know how. Okay, and actually, I'll leave you with this last piece. I'll leave you with this is it. I'm going to say this and I'm going to leave. My daughters, when they want to do something, okay, my daughter, her bike broke the last weekend. Her bike didn't break. The chain fell off the bike. It didn't break. The chain fell off the bike, okay? She comes into my office, and I was making the videos that you watched last week, okay? Well, I was in the middle of it, so she didn't stop me in the video, but while I was doing my job, she came in, hey, Dad, my bike is broken. That's what she said to me. My bike is broken. Okay, and I said, okay, well, I'm busy. I do not have time to go out there in the garage and figure out what's wrong with your bike and fix your bike. I don't have time for that. I got to make these videos. When I'm done, I'll come mess with your bike. Okay, so it was hours later. Okay, it wasn't until like 6:30 at night or whatever after dinner that I was actually done for the day. I still had a set to make the next day. I was just tired and I didn't want to make any more that day. And I said, okay, I'll go look at your bike. She goes, oh, I already fixed it. Oh, well, what was wrong? Oh, the thing that goes on the wheel broke or came off. And I go, oh, the chain? She goes, yeah, the chain, it came off. And I go, oh, okay, and you figured that out and you fixed it for yourself, right? Yeah. Okay. She wanted to ride her bike and she was not willing to wait for me to figure out what was wrong, so she figured it out on her own, right? So now we'll fast forward to yesterday. Yesterday, she doesn't want to do schoolwork because she's not a big fan of, math or whatever she's doing, okay? Actually, it's reading. She doesn't like reading, so whatever. So she had to read something on the thing, and, she's doing everything online just like you. And I'm here at school, so I only heard the story from my wife, right? So we're sitting at the dinner table, and my wife is telling me, Alexis couldn't do her work because the computer was slow and she couldn't find the assignment, and like there was a whole laundry list of problems. Okay, what do you mean you couldn't figure it out? Right? So then we sat down, and then my wife is telling me how she's frustrated because if Alexis wants to do something, she'll do it. If she doesn't want to do something, there's tons of problems and she'll never figure it out. Oh, I can't do it. I'm done. That's the reality of all life, and that's human nature, okay? And that's what you're going to have to overcome if you want to be successful in this world. Because if you are going to say, oh, it's hard, I don't know how to do it, guess what? You're going to get left behind, because the people who are successful figure it out, even the things that they don't want to do. They figure it out. You don't know how to do that math problem? Figure it out. There's plenty of resources for you to figure it out. Okay, but you don't want to figure it out, so you give up. That's the difference between a job and a career. Okay, there are plenty of things that I have to do as a teacher that I don't really like doing. Okay, plenty. I can run off a list. But I do them, and even if I don't understand them, I figure them out because I just want to get through that and get to the part that I do enjoy, which is teaching you. Okay? If I were to take the attitude of, it's hard, guess what? It's still going to happen. You're not avoiding it, okay? And then it's just more difficult, and you frustrated somebody else, and that's where the job mentality comes in. I'm not going to if I can't trust you to do the thing that I need you to do, then I'm just not going to give it to you. That's it. So there you go. Career versus job. Okay, so now that that's done, I wanted to do a second take before I start the second part of this video. I'm not going to talk forever on this. These are, Well, actually, this is an older video. Like, I have been playing this video for 3 years. So probably some of you who are in my class have already seen this previously. But I like to show it because, especially now, okay, with COVID-19 and everything's happening, right? You're learning online. That's automation. I mean, not automation, but that's technology. Technology is taking over. Okay? You're going to have robots doing things. We're moving into a situation where you're not even going to have dollars and change. Like, already, if you pay attention, there's a coin shortage. That's not a coin shortage. That's them moving away from coins, moving away from paper money, moving towards digital. Your credit card, your debit card. Eventually, you'll just have Bitcoin, and there won't be paper currency. You won't be exchanging things. It'll just be everything on a computer. And this is what this video is talking about. You're going to have lots of things that are changing. Self-automated cars, you'll watch the video and it's going to talk about these things. It is happening right now. It's happening right now. Okay? They're already discussing how can, like if you go to McDonald's, how can McDonald's be completely automated where there's less people touching your food? Okay? Because of COVID, right? People can get in, we need to figure out how we can have this process more automated because people can get sick, and that's a problem. Both because they can infect your food with the sickness, but also, if my workforce, let's say I have 50 workers, 25 of them catch COVID, I'm in trouble now because now I don't have enough people to do the job, right? So you got both sides. These conversations have already happened, okay? Before COVID, these conversations were happening. COVID made these things happen immediately. You will already begin to see these changes if you haven't noticed them already. So watch this video because it's telling you where things are going, and you need to start thinking about these things, okay? I don't want to put the fear into you, but I'm kind of going to put the fear into you. Go look at the unemployment rates. Okay, it's higher than it has ever been because people were taken out of work because of being non-essential. Businesses closed and they couldn't come back because they couldn't afford it. The lockdowns caused problems. Okay, there's a lot of issues coming down the pipeline. This is a very serious scenario. So you, as a middle school student, need to grow up right now and start thinking about what you're going to do when you are an adult, what kind of career you're going to have, and what technology is going to look like, and what you need to start learning and what you need to start doing. Okay? You are not a baby anymore. Okay? My oldest daughter, Alexis, is your age, and I tell her this all the time. You are not a baby. My baby is in diapers. So if you're not in diapers, you're not a baby. And it is time for you to start thinking about these things because you are about to become an adult. It's going to happen faster than you think. Okay? Even if nobody's in 6th grade, but 7th grade, okay, graduation, high school graduation isn't for 6 years. 6 years goes by like that, baby. Okay? 6 years ago, I started being a teacher. Here I am. It happened real fast. It goes faster than you think. And if you are always sitting back going, later, it's going to come bite you. So pay attention, start thinking about it, start figuring out what you want to do, start exploring things and formulating that idea of what you are going to do. Because it's not something that's going to happen, it's something you're doing right now with your actions. What decisions are you making and how are you prepping? I got a Zoom meeting starting, so that's a good time to stop the video and get into the other video. So watch this and
I know that for some, the future is incredibly exciting, filled with new technologies and new opportunities. But for some others, the future doesn't look as bright, and we want to raise some concerns with you guys. A study done at Oxford University found out that 45% of all current jobs will disappear in the next 10 years, with some of them being completely automated or at least upgraded to a point where a fraction of the workforce is needed. So, this will greatly impact the way you plan for your future as the environment is changing. In this video, we'll go through just some of the jobs that will radically change in the upcoming decade and the years that follow. If you're currently working in either of these industries, it might be a smart call to look for alternatives. Don't say we didn't warn you. If you're new here, welcome. Be sure to subscribe and follow us on Instagram at Alux. With that said, here are 15 jobs that will probably disappear or be automated in the next 10 to 20 years. Number 1. Drivers. Let me put it this way. If your job consists of driving any type of machinery, automobile, or vehicle, you're gonna be out of a job soon. Taxi drivers, bus drivers, truck drivers, Uber drivers, and delivery drivers are all on the verge of complete automation. In the US alone, there are 15.5 million trucks and 2 million tractor trailers on the road, with the trucking industry employing 14 million people, out of which 10 million are drivers. These are the people who are going to be pushed out first, because a self-driving truck doesn't need to stop for rest, is attentive to the road 24/7, and we already have the technology. Believe it or not, this is already backed by the government in Germany, and they're betting hard on self-driving trucks. Number 2. Farmers. Farming was huge when it came to employment numbers back in the day. This has changed dramatically, though. You might still see farming as human labor intensive in the underdeveloped parts of the world. But on a macro level, this has already been automated, with very few specially trained individuals that operate heavy machinery from the comforts of the office via wireless connections. Number 3. Printers and publishers. The newspaper is dead. Number 4. Cashiers. America alone has 8 million people working as cashiers and in-store salespeople. These people are going to be out of a job sooner than they think. Number 5. Travel agents. When's the last time you went to a travel agency to book a flight? Number 6. Manufacturing workers. When the Industrial Revolution hit, all the people working the fields moved to work in factories, handcrafting the machines that would make our lives easier. In the process, and with the advancement in technology, these same people were put in charge of building machines that build other machines that would eliminate the need for humans. Number 7. Dispatchers. I know you're probably thinking of the days when someone had to manually connect you to a different line in order to talk to someone, but an astonishingly high number of people are still working as dispatchers today. The role of the dispatcher is to coordinate the field operators, so things run smoothly for everybody. It doesn't matter if you're a firefighter dispatcher, working with planes, the police, or ambulances. We already have technology that is massively outperforming you at your job, and we're now figuring out just the final touches on what is the best way to deploy that technology. Number 8. Waiting tables and bartending. Okay, not all of them will be gone, but the bulk surely have one foot out the door already. Of course, there's a need for social interaction, but that's not always the case. Sometimes you just want to sit down, have the food arrive at your table as soon as possible, enjoy a particular mix of alcoholic beverages, and then leave. Number 9. Bank tellers. I'm sad to say this, as the lady at our bank has always been so nice to me, but we're not going to the bank for social interaction. To be honest, we don't go to the bank anymore, or very rarely when a visit is really needed. Otherwise, we check out our balance on our smartphones. Even the people on our payroll get their money delivered to their accounts automatically, without the need for us to manually and physically fill in a form with their details. If you want to grab cash, you go to an ATM. You can open a bank account to most banks in the world online, and only if you're looking for specialized services, you might need to meet in person. And even then, you might get the job done with a video call. Number 10. Military pilots and soldiers. The military is the most sensible industry to innovation. It is the first one to embrace it and deploy it. If back in the day wars were decided based on who had the largest number of troops, today it's a technology play. You no longer see people holding bayonets and riding horses into battle, because that would be inefficient. Drones can hit a target more accurately than any human could without endangering the life of the pilot, who's sitting comfortably in a chair on the other side of the world. There is still a need for human soldiers, but not as we know them. These are the special ops, the best of the best who are deployed only when there's no other technology at play. Number 11. Fast food workers. Remember when people were asking for $15 an hour to work at McDonald's? That's when automation kicks in. Number 12. Telemarketer. Have you noticed that there are already fewer and fewer telemarketers? Their entire industry has been taken over by targeted ads all around the internet and on all of your devices, specially constructed based on the information the tech giants have gathered from your use on their platforms. Number 13. Accountants and tax preparers. If it's one thing we've learned so far from this list, it's that boring and repetitive jobs will be taken over by algorithms. Number 14. Stock traders. Long are the days of Jordan Belfort and Gordon Gekko. Number 15. Construction workers. Back here on Earth, where people actually use their hands and backs to make things happen, the story looks a lot like what we've been saying through this video. Although the numbers are not clear, there are at least 200 million people working in construction around the world, and with developing countries wanting to expand, you'd expect the number to be on the rise. Well, it isn't, and that's because technology is getting more and more efficient and affordable. Developers now need more machines and a slightly more specialized workforce to use said machines to build. As technology progresses, we can see that construction workers will follow the same path as those who used to work in the farming industry in the past. Unless you're the owner of the enterprise or one of the specialized employees who are further down the line of automation, the future doesn't seem like a welcoming place for you. That's why we wanted to make this video for you. We know most of you are young, but making a bet on these industries in the traditional sense might not be the big payoff you're expecting. Most of you have family that are likely to be impacted by these changes, so make sure you bring up automation next time you're hanging out with your loved ones. As always, our videos are not prophecies, but conversations we want to start with you guys. What other jobs do you think will disappear due to automation?